so sweet like some honey. Tasting my chocolate chip cookie. I need an ass with no rookie. Yeah. Cocoa bones. Cocoa bones. All about money. So sweet like some honey. Tasting my chocolate chip cookie. Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's your girl Taj, aka Cocoa Bone, coming at you with another reaction video, hunty. Yes, honey. So tonight's reaction is going to be to Jezzy can't handle Jeannie Mai's anger, issues, and toxic mom. Jezzy is selfish for divorcing Jeannie Mai. And this is by Impressive. Shout out to Impressive. I'm obviously going to have to change the title when I'm doing this reaction. But yes, this is basically, to catch up with this Jeannie Mai and young Jezzy divorce situation. This is a shocker, but I definitely would like to make a point in the very end of this video regarding this situation. So let me just go ahead and get my screen recorder set up, and without further ado, let's get into this reaction, shall we?
Hello everybody, welcome to the Impressive channel. Now, I'm sure you all have heard that the rapper Jezzy is divorcing the TV host Jeannie Mai after only 2 years of marriage. He was the one who actually filed for divorce, which was a huge shock. A lot of people felt like something big must have happened for him to just leave Jeannie. But in the divorce filing, Jezzy said that the marriage was irretrievably broken. And he does want joint custody, and he wants the prenup agreement to be honored according to the Georgia law. Both Jezzy and Jeannie got married in the state of Georgia, so Jezzy was definitely stressing this prenup. But it's possible that Jeannie Mai might be able to find a loophole that could work to her advantage. She is contesting the divorce, so we'll see what happens. She might be contesting because she wants to save her marriage. Who knows? But she also might be trying to contest the prenup. And it was said that she did sign the prenup a day before they got married. So if she wanted to, she could argue that she was pressured to sign it without getting a chance to think it through. Prenups don't hold up a lot of times if they're signed under duress. So it's possible that she might use this as an excuse to get some more money out of Jezzy. Who knows how it's going to go? There was a woman who claimed to know Jeannie who told the lead attorney on YouTube that Jeannie would be the type to try to get as much money as possible out of this divorce.
Hell yeah.
So I'm not in Arizona, but I'm Vietnamese, and I actually know Jeannie Mai. She went to Vietnam with a group where she claimed that she was helping the poor Vietnamese. But it turned out that she went back to the U.S. and claimed that she was donating to all of these organizations, which she did not. It was a marketing ploy. So just based on that, just based on that attitude alone, Jezzy will lose his shirt, definitely. because if she's profiting from the poor of her own countrymen, she is definitely going to take both his shorts, his pants, and his shoes.
Wow. So you think she's definitely gonna contest the prenup?
Oh, for sure.
Now, there have been more updates about Jezzy and
who says you can't go for bold without going broke? Get the brands you want, the prices you want, whenever.
Jeannie's impending divorce. And in my previous video about this topic, I did make a lot of speculations. I did. I was making some wild speculations, and I should have waited for some sources to come forth and give more clarity. Now, a source close to Jezzy's camp did tell Entertainment Tonight that the reason why he filed for divorce from Jeannie is because they had completely different family values and expectations. They had different views, and they felt like each other's needs weren't being completely met. So in my mind, when I hear this, I think that they had tons of differences. not just racially but culturally. You know, Jezzy is Black American, he's from the South, and Jeannie is mostly Vietnamese, and I also think she's part Chinese as well. But culturally they view things very differently, and they do have a young daughter together, so I think they had a lot of differences in how their daughter is going to be raised. And this is why they shouldn't have rushed into marriage. They shouldn't have rushed into having a child. They did not really know each other well enough. They didn't even know each other's habits enough to really rush into a situation like this. So I think that the differences became a huge problem because they
I ain't gonna lie, they looked cute together.
That's what I feel. But I also feel like they had a lot of arguments too. And I said this in my last video about Jeannie and Jezzy. I brought up the fact that Jeannie admitted that she had a serious temper. And I want to replay this clip to refresh you.
Yeah, I remember this.
For example,
clip.
I have a really hot temper. Not a lot of people know this, but it's just something in my family. I've seen it in my grandmother. I saw it in my grandfather, to my grandmother, to my mom, to my aunts, to me, right? But I didn't notice it in myself until I was with Jezzy.
Interesting. You didn't notice in your previous marriage?
No, because it has to do with the type of relationship you have and the type of respect you have for that person to mirror things back to you, where you actually would stop you in your tracks and evaluate yourself, you know?
So you had it.
So I had it, but nobody ever called me out on it. I didn't notice that I had a hot temper until I got with Jezzy. And here's a person who is my equal and I really respect. And when I would spew some of my old habits, and he was like, like, who? That's not flying here. And also, it would trigger him to come back at me with things where I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? But I was triggering him. So through work, we learned that we both have certain habits that to the everyday person, from friends, family, fans, they'll never see it. But to the person who loves us deep enough, you can press that button and boom, the dragon comes out.
So basically, she looks extremely feminine, like what the manosphere unhealed bastards always talk about. But she turns out to be way more masculine than what she looks like. And this is one of the reasons why Jezzy is divorcing her. Interesting. I'll get into the rest of my point at the end of this reaction.
So I did bring this clip up again because I do think it's very important, and it could give more context into what the issue between Jeannie and Jezzy may have been. Jezzy said that they couldn't agree on different things, but I think it's even more than that. I think they just had some really nasty arguments. Jeannie went on record admitting that her temper is really, really bad. And she also admitted that her mother has a temper. And Jeannie's mother is a...
And I ain't gonna lie, she looked like the type to, hi, in your face, and then behind closed doors is... like, she looked like that type. I'm not even gonna fraud, but let's keep going.
Around a lot. So you can only imagine what Jezzy had to deal with being around Jeannie and her mother. And Jezzy is not the type to really back down either. If he gets triggered, he's gonna return that same energy too. So
yeah, he looked like the type to return it.
The situation became very hostile, and he wanted out. And people have to keep in mind, this is Jezzy's first marriage. Jeannie is the first woman he has ever made a real commitment to. So I think he got into it thinking it was going to be all peaches and cream, but he realized very quickly it ain't like that. Marriage takes a lot of work, and I don't think he really has the tolerance for anything that's inconvenient or stressful for him. I don't really think he's built for marriage like that. He doesn't strike me as somebody who's family oriented either. Yeah. And that honestly should have been a red flag.
He looks like a narcissist,
Jezzy is the type who would make children with other women and not commit to them for the long term.
Exactly.
He'll leave them as single mothers. And Jeannie probably didn't expect that he would do the same to her because he married her. But Jezzy has absolutely no problem with walking away. He did the exact same thing to his other baby mamas. And I think his unwillingness to stay in a relationship is partly due to
he got multiple baby mamas
and his lack of duty to
I didn't know that part.
That's what I think. And I'm not saying that he should stay in an unhealthy relationship, but also I think he could fight for something a little bit, especially if he's married. Like, he just welcome a child with his wife. They've only been married for 2 years. He could fight a little harder, but he didn't want to, because I get the feeling that he doesn't like the inconvenience. If things is inconvenient for him, he will step away. And there was a source that claimed that Jezzy stepped away from Jeannie for minor reasons. And I do have to credit Funky Dineva from Fox Soul, because he actually got the inside scoop about this. But it was said that Jezzy could not handle Jeannie and her overbearing family. Her mother lives with her, the brother lives with her, and that was just a lot for him. And in the Asian culture, families live together. Children take care of their parents, so it's normal. But for Jezzy, it just felt very intrusive. He felt like he was being smothered, I'm assuming, which is why he and Jeannie began living in different places, because it's just too much to have your family around all the time. And Jeannie's family is not an easy family to deal with. Her mother is very controlling, and she lacks boundaries as well. And Jeannie and her mother don't always get along either. So I can imagine that there was a lot of bickering, and the environment just wasn't peaceful for Jezzy. Also, they had disagreements in how they would raise their daughter. It was said that Jeannie would walk their daughter to school, and Jezzy didn't like that because he felt like it wasn't safe and people would find out where they lived. So he had real concerns about that, but Jeannie didn't respect those wishes. And also, Jeannie likes putting on a show. She likes having people around, and Jezzy doesn't like that because he prefers to have his privacy. But these were just a few of the reasons why Jezzy walked away. Jezzy just couldn't tolerate a lot of things in the marriage. And also, I personally feel like he couldn't tolerate the way Jeannie would talk to him sometimes. I wouldn't be surprised if Jeannie sometimes talked to him the way she used to talk to her ex-husband, Freddie. I used to watch The Real a lot. I think I've almost seen every episode, and I would remember how Jeannie used to talk about Freddie and how she would treat him. She called him a Mitch, which is the equivalent to a male B word. And also, she said that she was very controlling.
I feel like I married my version of a Mitch.
Really?
Yes. And his mom is
Not
around.
a Mitch!
It's a totally different man that I don't even know.
What do you have to say about this description of you?
You know, one word that she brings up a lot is compassion. Maybe I'm just looking for some compassion in situations, you know?
Yes.
Because if I don't get it at home, at least I can get it from my mother, you know?
I surprise myself because I am an alpha female in my own controlling situations in my life. And then when I got married, I got annoyed at myself because I'm hella controlling.
Yeah.
I actually, when I become that way so much, I saw my man actually start to sit back.
Yeah.
And then he literally said to me one time after I was complaining, like, why don't we do something new? Why can't we go somewhere new to eat? And he's like, you've always picked what we're going to eat. You've always picked what we're going to do. He's like, I just stopped trying because you always pick what's going to happen.
So you heard what Jeannie said. She admitted to being very controlling, and she also called her first husband a Mitch, all because he was sick and he needed some care and attention. So
That's
she didn't really treat her
disrespectful.
first husband, Freddie, the best.
No,
now,
she
people
did
can
not.
change over time and make self-improvements, and I think Jeannie probably has tried to make changes, especially for Jezzy, but with disrespect. And he also wasn't going to be controlled. So I think at first Jeannie attempted to compromise. I think she attempted to be a certain way to please Jezzy. In fact, she talked about being more submissive, which was uncharacteristic of Jeannie because she always was very proud of being an alpha woman, a dominant woman. But when she got with Jezzy, her views changed because she was trying to accommodate him in a way and sell this whole persona and image to him. And he actually bought it.
So I'm going to say right here that I, Jeannie Mai, going into my marriage, I want to submit to my man. I'm a very dominant woman. So I make the decisions in my life. When I come home, I like the idea that my man leads us. I don't want to lead in our household and in our marriage. I want him to lead, and I have all the essence of what I bring as a wife to make that decision, but that I love that my husband will be the man that leads.
So this is what Jeannie was saying before she got married to Jezzy. She was saying that she wanted him to be the head of the household. She wanted him to lead. And Jezzy actually bought that. He thought he was going to have a submissive wife, but That's not in Jeannie's nature. And the reason why it wasn't her true nature is because of her upbringing. She grew up in a household where she was raised with a dominant, feisty, controlling mother, and she kind of inherited those characteristics. So Jezzy probably thought that he was marrying one person, but he ended up seeing the real colors of Jeannie. And some people watching this video might be thinking that I'm being extra hard on Jeannie. And the truth is, I actually like Jeannie. I do. And I don't believe that she's the only one at fault in this situation.
Yeah.
I do think Jezzy has his issues as well.
They both got
he has
issues.
the tendency to be selfish. He's not completely family oriented. He has low tolerance for things. So I could see where he has difficulty compromising. And he married Jeannie for the wrong reasons. I think he married her based on her aesthetic. But once his preference stopped preferencing, he decided to get out because he's not going to stick around in a relationship and try to make it work. If things get too hard, he's going to leave and put himself first.
Yep. Yep. It's true.
He did it to Jeannie either. So he has his issues as well. I'm not saying that he's perfect at all. So I want to make that clear. However, I'm not going to act like Jeannie did not play a role in the demise of their marriage. And I do think Jeannie may have misled Jezzy. I do. I think she presented herself completely different than who she really is. And it's interesting because there was a woman who came on the lead attorney show and she revealed that Jeannie kind of adapts to whoever she's with. And a lot of times it's not sincere. It's not authentic. And she does it oftentimes to cover up her own flaws. And we know that one of her big flaws is her anger.
Right. Did you know about her preference for white men, but then her preference for black men sexually or something?
That was really surprising because it wasn't before when she was with her white husband. She was very white. Just the speech pattern, the articulation was very different. She was with the white dude. And he was very religious. So all of a sudden, everywhere she went, she was like trying to get the Buddhist Vietnamese to turn into Christians.
Really?
So there's definitely, she's smart enough to really ingest the environment around her. But where, like I said, she ingests and digests her environment extremely well.
So you said she's kind of like a chameleon. So when she was with the white guy, she was more proper, and then when she's with the black guy, she's a little bit more urban.
Yep, she was very Christian proper, like trad wife proper.
Yeah, why do you think her marriage didn't work out? Why do you think Jezzy filed for divorce?
Oh, because he really saw her true self. If you look at her mother has anger issue as well.
Really?
Look at their mothers. If you look at Jeannie Mai's mom, you can tell right away where the anger comes from.
You think she's one of these quote unquote ghetto Asians? Or is she?
For sure, because the outside, but she knows how to transition.
So you heard some of that alleged tea. It's very interesting, pretty eye-opening. I will say that this whole divorce between Jeannie and Jezzy is sad, though. Even though I'm talking about it, and it might seem like I'm not.
They look like a cute
because
couple.
I'm honestly trying to dig for some tea. But at the same time, it is sad because they do share a young daughter together, and I just wish things would have been different. But honestly, I think Jezzy and Jeannie got together for the wrong reasons. They got together way too fast. They didn't get a chance to really know each other, and everything went downhill. Now, it might get to a point where they do actually work on their marriage. Who knows? When I first heard Jezzy and Jeannie got married, I was actually excited for them. So I'm not going to act like, oh, I want them to separate, because honestly, I don't. But it seems like things have gotten to a point of no return. We're just going to have to see what happens with this whole situation. But anyway, tell me what you all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
All right, well, that is the end of that video. Here is my honest, full-blown opinion on this whole entire situation. One, they looked like a really cute interracial couple. I'm not even gonna fraud. Now, I know that y'all are expecting me to be on this side of like,
oh yeah, well, you shouldn't like the fact that this black king was with an Asian woman.
Like, look, I have interracially dated. I've dated a few white men, I've dated 2 Spanish men, and I've dated 1 Asian dude. And to me, I don't see color, I just see the person. And I felt like because she did say that she was going to be submissive to her next husband, that's what caught Jezzy's attention, along with somewhat getting to know Jeannie Mai and stuff like that while they was dating. And then eventually, you know, he decided to marry her. Now, let's get to the marriage part. Number 2. The marriage part came into play because one thing I will say, non-black women make men marry them first before anything else. Now, the marriage obviously didn't save them from getting divorced or, you know, from Jezzy filing for a divorce, but black women gotta take notes, because a lot of us black women, we tend to play house too many fucking times. And Jeannie Mai and other non-black women are taught if they're gonna have kids, you need to get married first. But however, number 3, let this be a learning lesson to all of you black men out there. Oh yes, I'm about to take it there. Just because the woman that you're dating is not a black woman, your own race of women, it does not mean that she's going to be feminine. It does not mean that she's going to be submissive, okay? A bad woman is a bad woman. Now, I'm not saying Jeannie Mai is a bad woman. She obviously has some anger issues and controlling issues that she unfortunately inherited from her mom that she has to work on. It does not make her a bad person. It just makes her a good woman that has a lot of rough edges around her, because she don't seem like a bad woman, but she definitely has an issue with her anger and controlling issues. So yes, she has to work on that before she ever gets remarried ever again to whoever that's going to be. But however, black men gotta stop listening to these unhealed bitch ass, coward, lame, barely don't get no yams like that, probably gotta pay for the yam, manosphere bastards, and taking their advice as word of law when it comes to black men dating other races of women. It just goes and shows no matter what race the woman is, at the end of the day, she's either for you or she's not. And in this case, Jeannie Mai was not for young Jezzy. But on the flip side of things, young Jezzy, honestly, he looks like a fucking narcissist. I'm not even gonna fraud. He looks like all he cares about is his self. All he cares about is his own pleasure. And when things don't go right on his behalf, like with what Impressive said, then he's going to what? Dip the fuck out on that woman. And there's too many black men that are comfortable with always walking away when something is not easy and it's hard. Marriage is very hard, and you got to learn how to deal with marriage, you know, when you get to that point in your life. Now, however, am I speaking to all the black men across the globe? No, I'm not speaking to all black men. Shout out to the black men that are good black men, good black husbands, and they know how to be a husband to their wife of whatever color she is. But I want this to be a learning lesson. Black people gotta stop thinking just because you're interracially dating, oh, this person that's not my race is way better than my race. It's complete false and bullshit. Anybody of any color, coming from experience, can be on some bullshit, okay? The guys that I mentioned that were non-black that I did date, guess what? They're not around because they was what? On some bullshit, okay? So take this as a learning lesson. Always make sure to look at the mind and the heart and the soul, okay? That is my opinion. I hope you guys had enjoyed this reaction. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, show your girl some love, help your girl get to 3,000 subs. Make sure to leave some suggestions down in the comment section down below for me to react to, and please give me a big thumbs up for it helps to push my videos further out into the algorithm. I'm out this bitch. Deuces.
We live in a world that's extremely so cruel. Hitting below the belt, man, that's not cool. My feelings is numb to the point where I got a fork and I'm just eating this sauce like it's food. Bitch, when I'm corny and ain't gonna be shit. Bitches is hoping I die when I'm sick. I might as well go to the sex store to buy me a strap on to wear, cause they all on my dick. Worry about me and what I just do. Worry about me and what I just said. The audience look at your life as a boo. A fake ass bitch snake when the real skin have shed.